Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to my greenhouse. Today is a nice day, so I thought I will give you a tour of my greenhouse and show you the seedlings and the plants that I have been growing here in my greenhouse. These are perennial sweet peas. These plants produce colorful flower just like the annual sweet peas, but lack the fragrance that are in the annual variety. These were sown on the first week of February and moved to greenhouse as soon as they were germinated. This is a hosta that I bought from Wilco. It's a foliage plant containing lovely leaves, also flowers during the summer. These are Coreopsis early sunrise variety, sown on the first week of February and moved to greenhouse late February. They're very good for filling up any empty spaces in the border, especially at the front of the border, which I will have in my flowering border. So I have quite a few number of these seedlings that I can make use of. Here are belts of Ireland seedling. They are a little bit tricky to germinate as they need cold stratification, meaning the seeds need to be kept in the cold for a period of time before you actually sow them. The method I've followed this year seems to have worked. I've got about 6 or 7 plants that I can use. These are bunching onion, white Lisbon variety. They were sown on the 18th of February, germinated indoor, and again moved to the greenhouse once germinated. They're looking very healthy. These are sunflower dwarf fantasy mix variety. They look very healthy and thriving as well. They will reach a height of about 50 to 70 centimeters when fully mature. They were sown on the 18th of February and moved to the greenhouse on the 14th of March. These will soon need to be planted out in the garden once the temperature gets up and running as well. These are chive. Again, I'll have to find some space in my garden for these, away from the raised bed, because these are perennial. They will come back year after year. So these are my vegetable seedlings. You can see some radishes, French breakfast variety, some mustard that I've sown and they have been growing like crazy, and then some salad leaves on the far end as well. So these will be going in the beds where I'll be growing chili later on. So I'm just making use of those raised beds that I've prepared. More vegetable seedlings, starting with the beetroot Buffy's golden, and then collet and Brussels sprout. Colettes is quite interesting because these are a cross between kale and Brussels sprouts, and they are very good for salads, very nutritious as well. So I'll need to find some space for these soon. Some mustards that I've started here, doing an experiment to see if seedling becomes too leggy if I start in a pot like this size, 6-inch pot. They seems to be growing fine. These are spinach. The variety is called, I think, America. I've never grown spinach before, so this is my first time growing spinach. They are looking quite nice and healthy, not so laggy as well. So hopefully, fingers crossed, I'll be able to harvest some spinach this year. These are cabbage Calevos variety. So I'm growing a few different varieties of cabbage this year. These are autumn harvest variety, so I'm looking to harvest these around late July, early August. These were sown on the 3rd week of February. I will be planting this out this week sometime. More cabbage seedling here. These are early maturing variety called Golden Acre. They take about 65 days to mature from the planting. Here are Brussels sprouts seedling. The variety I'm growing here is Brandon F1. Sown on the 26th of February. I'll keep this in here until probably early May. More Brussels sprout. There are a different variety here. Can't remember the name of the variety, but sown at the same time as the other variety. These are calettes. These are my second sowing. Again, as I said, these are interesting because they're a cross between kale and Brussels sprout. Apparently they're very good and nutritious for salads. Here are fennel, multi-sown on the 18th of February. Moved to greenhouse on the 6th of March. They will be planted out this week sometime. Again, they are very interesting plants because of their foliage. I think they will contrast nicely against other flowering plants in the flowering border. You can also see some coleus seedlings in the background. They've just started to pick up the growth and produce colors on their leaf. These are sweet pea that I've started a while back. I think I've started these on the first week of January. I have pinched off the top of these plant recently so that they become a little bit bushier. Again, these will be planted out soon. They will need a trellis because I want them to climb up. They're the annual variety, so they will have a fragrance. This is a flowering shrub. I don't have a label on it at the moment, but I'm looking to plant this out in the garden this week. These are Anthurium, sown on the 6th of February. These are dwarf variety that grow to a 12 to 15 inch height. These are very interesting plant, and I'm looking forward to see how the flowers turns up. Here are Sweet Elysium seedlings, one of my favorite flower. They are fragrant annual variety. These are my first batch of sowing. I plan to start another batch this week. These are surprisingly cold hardy. They grow to about 4 to 6 inch tall, so they're perfect for the front of the border or any gaps that you have in the flowering border. There are some Echinacea and Helenium. The growth just started to pick up, sown on the first week of February. Some Viola, Chapalaphora and Lobelia here, sown on the mid-February, and again they've just started to pick up their growth. I'll need to transplant them in the individual pots now. These are Foxglove. They're dwarf mix variety. They grow to a height of about 1 meter and flowers between June to July. They're looking very healthy as well. These are Delphinium Magi Fountain variety, sown on the beginning of February. They're doing really good. I can see the roots coming out on the bottom of the pots as well, so that tells me either I'll have to transplant them into a bigger pot or transplant them out in the garden. These are mustards. These were sown on the 19th of March and they've just started to come up. There are some beetroots that I've started. This has been sitting in this tray quite a while now. I need to find some space to transplant them out in the garden. There are some cabbage all year round variety. These are part of my experiment that I'm trying to figure out if the pots are suitable for starting the seedlings. Here you can see some lamb lettuce, or also known as corn salad. So I've sown them a few weeks back now, and these will be going out in the garden soon. There are some lettuce all year round variety. Again, these are part of my experiment that I'm doing. Some Bells of Ireland seedlings. I have about 7 of them, and at the beginning of this video you've seen some of the other seedlings there. These are Cosmos. The variety is Red Cust. These were sown on the 18th. I have another variety as well that I need to start sowing sometime this week, but this seedling is looking really good. I've transferred them out in the greenhouse a few weeks now. These are my zinnia seedlings. I have some in here and some still indoor, testing out the hardiness of the seedling by keeping some out in the greenhouse. These are onion seedlings, started back on the last week of February. They're doing really good. There are different varieties in here. I have them labeled but on the tray, but they will need to be planted out in the garden. These are dahlia seedlings that I've started from seeds. They are looking great and they are doing really good out in the greenhouse as well. They will still need to be transferred to their individual pots, and when I do that, I will also pinch off the top of those seedlings to make them a little bit bushier. Some California poppies here. I have two variety. I have only sown one variety here, and the other one is only suitable for direct sowing, so I'll be sowing them directly out in the garden. These were sown on the 6th of February. This is a bay leaf plant. I got this from Dobby's on a special deal. This was kept in a very small pot, so I've now transferred into a larger pot and it's thriving in this new environment that is now. Couple of cucumber plants here. I've started them indoor. I've got about 6 to 8 plants here, so I thought I'd just move 2 plants out in the greenhouse. I've hardened them off first, but I just want to see how they do in terms of the temperature that we have going at the moment. If they do well, I'll be bringing the rest from inside my house to the greenhouse soon. Here are some more flower seedlings that I've started. These are nasturtium, some Rebecca in here, as well as some more viola. This is a Pieris flowering plant. It needs acidic soil, therefore I need to keep it in the pot with ericaceous garden soil, ericaceous soil. Which I have done now, you can see, and is growing nicely. It will soon be flowering. So that's it. That's all of the plants that I have been growing in my greenhouse. All of the plants will eventually go out in the garden. So if you want to follow the progress of the plants and how they perform throughout the year, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much for watching.